Rolling. So, I mean, Monday's meeting was productive, and certainly
You're talking about the chamber meeting.
the chamber meeting, Monday's meeting with the chamber, that was productive and a lot of great questions. But you guys have made some progress even in 2 days.
Yes, I think it started. I think that catapulted the need to really get the people that were decision makers in a room together to make sure that we were all on the same page and had some cohesion and working together. After Monday's meeting, I contacted TxDOT and then set up this meeting, which we just had today. And a lot of those answers were given to us by TxDOT. And a lot of the questions were voiced and concerns with a map. And so what do you think, Mayor?
Yeah, I think there was probably some miscommunication. Brian Ismaili-Doki from TxDOT was at the chamber meeting. He had a presentation, the very end of which was talking about US 75 and 121. There was, of course, a massive amount of interest in that particular topic. And there was some discussion that occurred at that meeting that was not clear about which part of the project we were talking about. So once we got TxDOT leadership, and I want to thank Representative Luther for being very proactive about doing this. Coming to the chamber meeting, first of all, so she could see the issues with the communication problems, and then setting up this meeting today, walking the project with us so she can be firsthand knowledgeable. So instead of just looking at it from afar, we
just came from the street corner.
She's probably still got mud on her boots.
No, if you saw us walking around out there, we were actually physically putting our eyes on the upcoming changes, because one of the things that happened in that meeting were can you do this change temporarily until this overpass is constructed? So someone mentioned changing the lights, the signal timing. And TxDOT is all on board with that. There might be some things that they have to do, but we should see some changes on the lights, on the timing of those, to where you don't have to sit through 5 lights if school is letting out at the same time or otherwise. Not only that, and this is not like near future, but we also discussed right-hand turn lanes. And do you want to talk about those, where they're going to be?
We will. So there are 2 turn lanes that will be added. The first one of which will be this summer. TxDOT will be repaving with an asphalt overlay the underpass.
Because it's temporary. We're not doing,
Yeah. So when that gets repaved, they will add a turning lane coming off of the 75 access road. And people have been asking about that for quite some time.
And that's in front of the
QT, yeah. Right, between the QT and the main lanes. So someone on the access road will be able to make a right-hand turn onto eastbound FM 121. And that'll relieve some of the congestion. Probably more importantly, the city has procured right-of-way, and the TxDOT had some right-of-way in front of Casey's, so that someone traveling west on 121 coming up to this intersection will have their own lane to go right up towards Howell and Sherman, and relieve some of that congestion at the intersection. Obviously not a permanent fix, but we hope that buys us some time until the overpass can get reworked.
And correct me if I'm wrong, if I remember the timing on that's going to be kind of this summer, is that right?
The first one for sure this summer. TxDOT has not yet completed the engineering work on the right-hand turn lane in front of Casey's.
But we have our foot on the accelerator on that one.
Yes.
So we will update as soon as we have more of a deadline. But it all has to do with the prep work beforehand, the engineering. The right-of-way is already, but we just need the engineering to be laid out. But that you'll be seeing that sometime soon, hopefully in the next year. We're thinking in the next year. I'm hoping. What's going to be great on this overpass, though, it's not just an overpass, or it's just not even just widening it, because we do have the issue to where it's four lanes on the west side, and then when it comes down into Van Alstyne into town, it turns into 2. So you can't do a lot of work on that east side. But how we can help this intersection is they're actually going to put U-turn lanes on each side of underneath 75. So we're going to raise the bridge to 16 to 18 feet. Right now it's only 14 feet. But not just do that, add turn lanes, which means when you're coming northbound on 75 and you get off at that intersection near QT, you could actually do a U-turn to get to any of the shopping or housing that's on that side without waiting at a light, which is huge. And that's also going to be on the other side too, 2 U-turns, which creates a lot more mobility in that intersection. So if you add those with the right-hand turn lanes and the center lanes, there's going to be parts of that intersection that we're now coming from 2 lanes, switching to 3 lanes.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, can you talk about the history of this? Because, I mean, you've been working this for a long time.
We have been working on this for a while, and this overpass replacement was part of the original project to increase the main lanes from 4 lanes to 6 lanes and turn the access roads into one-way roads versus the unsafe 2 lanes we used to have. When construction costs skyrocketed right after COVID, TxDOT still pursued the project, but they needed to cut the costs back. So they took the overpass out of the project as a cost that was unaffordable at that time. Ever since then, we've been trying to get the funding to complete the project as it was originally envisioned some 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay, terrific. And, you know, this is really important to the city and to the county because we have a ton of development going in, not just residential.
No, not just residential, of course. And what will really help Van Alstyne is if they can get some businesses here and get those taxes. And it's not part of your property tax. That this is a consumption tax that the businesses bring to help with roads and other things that the city needs. So that will be a great thing for the city, but a lot of them won't come in until we fix this intersection. So we're kind of like at the cross section right now where we need to make a decision and make things happen, and then we'll be able to make Van Alstyne even better.
So I love the temporary fixes, but widening that underpass, you guys are still working hard to get that done.
We're trying to get it on the 10-year plan, and once we get it on the 10-year plan, which this is things that have to happen in Austin, pulling some strings from other places that we're going to work together on. And once we get actually placed on that plan, it doesn't mean that it's going to take 10 years for it to happen. Because if we just get our name on the list, it's on the list, right? And then once we get all of the right-of-way and the engineering done, they call that a clean project. TxDOT calls that clean. And so if we present a nice package with a little bow on it, a clean package, then if funding comes from the state, like a funding falls through on the state somewhere, and our project's ready to go, then they will look at ours and ours will be on the list. So it can definitely happen in a much shorter time period, but we got to get on that list. And that's the #1 priority right now.
And we appreciate Representative Luther's willing to use some of her political capital down in Austin to help us do that. It's a matter of knowing the right people to talk to, but also presenting the facts. We can't just go down there and say, gee, we need money. So yeah. We definitely appreciate
it. It's like your kids do. I need money for what? That doesn't work. We need to be able to specifically lay it out. And the reason why I'm able to do that is the mayor is very passionate about this project. And he's wanted this for his constituents since I've known him. It's the first thing that we talk about it every time we see each other. And he's the driving force in helping me get educated because I'm not an engineer. But I can go there and explain the problem because he took his time to take us out to the intersection with TxDOT to make sure we're all on the same page. And we're moving as a cohesive group now instead of, I don't know, what are you doing? No, we're not going to operate that way. We're going to move as a group and answer questions with the same answer.
Right. And the city's taken steps to get ourselves in a better position too.
We have. Several years ago, the city council passed a resolution in which we are contributing what's called the local match. So we have on the hook for $4.5 million of taxpayer money. And that's what it takes to just let decision makers in Austin know that we're serious about this. It's our #1 priority. Yes, we're spending money on all the other things that we need to do to keep the city working, but we're willing to invest in this intersection because, as Representative Luther said, it's key to our future. It's one of those investments that will pay back over time as we get retail development and other growth on the west side of US 75.
Thank you both for your hard work. Keep us posted.
We will. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.